So we got about 45 minutes, 50 minutes spent together. If you need to get up, you need to get away, you won't offend me. Trust me, the other reps here, they offend me more than you guys ever will. So do not, this will be a session I encourage you, do not turn your devices off, because if you have an aha moment, tweet it or post it. Or if you want to Instagram the person next to you, Instagram the person next to you. But keep your devices on. We might make a reference. We're in a relatively intimate setting here, so if I can, this isn't rehearsed or I don't have this scripted, so I have to stop and answer a quick question, I'd be more than happy. A few years ago, I never would have thought, being in sales and marketing, I never would have thought that my place in the promotional products industry would have been positioned as a leader in social marketing. That's not what I thought. I'm an early adopter with a mindset, so immediately I started experimenting with the platform and had a lot of fun. Now there's a lot of things that led to that having fun, and it's not for everybody, and I get that. I am a person who is relatively outspoken. I do wear my heart on my sleeve. If I'm mad, you'll see I'm mad. If I'm happy, you'll see I'm mad. So the platform doesn't bother me. I'm not afraid if you know that I'm not happy, because I want you to actually know that. So the platform does lend itself very well to my personality, and there's people I've met that I understand why it's challenging, and that's okay. But there's also lots of different apps that might work for you. Maybe it's not Facebook, but if you're more artistic, an Instagram is awesome for you, or a Pinterest. You can have fun with other apps and not be so exposing of your world adventures, okay? And let everybody know what you do. Does that make sense? All right, so everybody should get something out of this. So those are all the buttons you're starting to see, right? You're starting to see Google+, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. You got Instagram. Those of you a little older, you got some MySpace in there. You got all these different apps that are coming at Mach speed. So you're going to see more of those. Now what you're also seeing too is you're seeing two patterns happen. You're seeing the individuals have those pages, and then you're seeing the either company or the brand starting to have this page. I read a real interesting blog the other day from the chief marketing officer for L'Oreal makeup, and she had a real interesting perspective on these. L'Oreal has a place in this platform, but then so does each brand. Each brand had its own Facebook page. Each brand had its own Twitter language. So you can take this thing down as far as you want. The further you take it down, the more the intimacy. I teach my staff in the sales and inside sales departments and marketing. We have a voice at Jetline that we do, but I want their individuality. So we give them content here for them to move over here, but I want the people that they call on, I want them to know who they are. I want them to know what their hobbies are. I want them to know what their favorite foods are. You guys want to sit down? No? We can move these back there so it's not so scary.
Then we'd be in the front, right?
Huh?
Then we'd be in the front.
Then yeah, that would be awkward, right? So this is really important. Those of you that own your company, you're not going to be real comfortable with that. Okay, if you own the company and you own the brand, and all of a sudden you have employees speaking on your brand's behalf, the old school part of your mind will freak you out. That's not what you were taught. You will not like that. I'm telling you that if you learn to embrace it and you coach those individuals that represent you, that are your best brand ambassadors, you will grow your company exponentially. Whatever product or service that you offer. Those people have relationships that can change your life, and it's going to change theirs too. So everyone says, I don't have enough time to begin with. Well, I'm going to make it worse for you, because now you got double that. Okay, you got double that going on. I'm going to leave this in there. This PowerPoint will be available. I'm sure Kirby will Facebook it. He will put it out on his LinkedIn. He'll put it on SlideShare. He's going to put it everywhere. But this is a little bit of just what I want you to take away. You know, as you become more and more, I guess, a professional presenter, which I'm not a part of the speaker bureau or anything like that. I'm not into that. I won't make a DVD and do all that. I don't do photo shoots and stuff. But this is what I want you to take away. And I'm not going to worry about that right now for lack of time. But if you come back to review this, you might want to stop here because it's kind of where the theories are and things like that and the takeaways that you'll have. All right, so let's have some fun. How many people have seen this before? Social media explained. First of all, the fear with social media is you're doing the wrong thing on the wrong platform and you look like an idiot. That's the biggest fear we all have. First of all, don't worry about it. We've all made the same mistake, and everyone will laugh, and everyone will make funny comments, but those comments will help you. The audience will actually help you steer down the right direction. So for those of you in the back, we'll have some fun. It's called Social Media Explained, and the topic is a donut. Okay? So Twitter, I am eating hashtag a donut. So if you're on Twitter, the hashtag is the symbol that causes this thing to hyperlink. It turns blue. Have you ever typed your email into a Word document and hit enter and all of a sudden it turns blue and you're like, what was that? And you realized if you pressed it, it would hyperlink into an email to you? Okay, that's what it is. The @ symbol on Facebook, the hashtag, well, it's no longer called the £sign. My kids have no idea what £sign means. If you say hashtag, they completely know what a hashtag is. Okay, so hashtag causes Twitter to have a link. That link is a conversation. If you want to get engaged in conversations, you use these hashtags so that you become part of that community. All right? You guys are at AAA, right? So a hashtag for you might be highway safety. If you tweeted, you might hashtag highway safety. Or you might find another roadside assistant. You might find words like that. What do you guys do?
Boy Scouts.
Boy Scouts, you got all kinds of hashtags. Outdoors, all kinds. What do you do?
Banking.
Banking. Okay. Hashtag save money. Hashtag lower mortgage. You got all kinds. What do you guys do again? Healthcare. So you might do a lot of hashtags that start a conversation for wellness, okay, or tips for safety, or reminders or whatever, things like that for your group. So you can see that hashtags can be created for anything. Now, this really smart, advanced people, you go out there and you find the hashtags that already exist, and you start getting into those conversations. So how does that affect a guy like me? I went out and I found promo products, promotional products, swag, different words that the industry was already using. So how do I push my brand into those conversations that my Kirby's of the world are in? I use their hashtags. If I tweet a new product, sneak peek, camo hydro pouch, gotta check it out. Hashtag swag, hashtag promo products. Because I want that to pop up in Kirby's news feed. That is how you can use the platform to market or converse with your given audience. And all of you have an audience. The next one was Facebook. I like donuts. Facebook gets the infamous like thing. They're always going to be known for that, okay? So there. Foursquare. This is where I ate donuts. So Foursquare is the infamous check-in. Now, unfortunately, what happened is Facebook didn't like anybody else playing in their world. So as Foursquare was blooming up, Facebook got a little territorial, and they said, nah, we'll create check-in. And they really put a damper on Foursquare's whole world. Because now you can check in on Facebook rather than having to go out to a separate environment and check in and push it over to one of your other social platforms. Instagram, here's a vintage photo of me eating a donut. Okay? It's really an interesting insight. Instagram is a filter, basically, of taking a photograph, starting to eliminate the use of words, and letting the photograph speak for itself, and then you can have all these different filters that make it sunny, dark, high res, low res, gray tones, all this fun stuff. So whatever your personality is, or whatever personality you want to add to that, you can do. I did an Instagram this morning. I sell a product that you fill with water, hydro pouch, collapsible water bottle, and I think it's funny that every time I come to a show, I have to find a bathroom, and then here's a guy standing in the bathroom with all these little bags that look like blood bags, or like drainage hospital bags, and I'm standing there filling them up with water, and everyone's like, whoa, what's that dude doing? And so I always take a picture and I say, you know, filling up my hydro pouches. I actually got a customer to respond today, so it was good. YouTube, here I am eating a donut. There's a video. It's a video platform. So we're going from check-in platforms to photo platforms to video platforms, and this is the mixed media that your clientele, your audience wants to engage with. LinkedIn, my skills include eating donuts. LinkedIn is all about building an online resume, for example. Now, when LinkedIn first started, there was this huge perception that everybody who got on LinkedIn was looking for a job. That couldn't be the farthest from the truth. LinkedIn, by far, is absolutely the most powerful Rolodex you could ever utilize in the world. And I will talk about that again shortly. Pinterest. Pinterest is one of the newer ones. Here's a donut recipe. Okay, so for those of you who are on Pinterest, it tends to be a heavily female demographic, which is fine. That must mean it's very logical and guys don't get it, which that's how I think. But ladies are having a blast with it. There was a blog that was written the other day that was that says that Pinterest single-handedly will electronically change the way weddings are planned forever. No wedding will ever be planned in the future without something from Pinterest. That gives me goosebumps, just by the way. That shows you that something's happening. So you just have to figure out my Pinterest page. I have a feminine side. I'm okay with that. I got a nice Pinterest page. But I got about 19 boards. But I have a beer board. I got my man board. I got my outdoor board. And I got my proud father board. I got my recipe board. I got my home cooking because I like to cook. So people think that's kind of funny. I don't know why. But so everything I cook, I put on that board. So I got all kinds of little boards. But those are windows into who I am. So my clients are deciding if they're going to do major deals with me, write major contracts. Again, you know, I work routinely with Fortune 100, 500, 1,000 companies, and there's big contracts that are happening. And sometimes that little personal edge, you find out, you know, I have a Yorkie, I have 3 kids, I like to mountain bike. If I can find that one common interest point with a client, it could close the deal. And it happens all the time, okay? Last FM's nothing. Google Plus, I love this one. It's my favorite one. I'm a Google employee who eats donuts. So the joke there is the only people using Google Plus are the people who work at Google. So those of you who are adamant Google Plus fans, you're in a very short window. So 3 quick theories, and then we'll jump into the top 10. These are the theories that I have taught the promotional products industry, and it's all about residual income. Okay, everybody, we're always got that little bit jealous. Any insurance agents in the room? Any insurance? No. Any insurance agents? No. Okay. No. We don't like them. How do they make money all the time without doing anything? Right? They're like one of the few professions that has residual income. And in membership, you have it a little bit, but you got to get that renewal, right? So in our world, in the promotional product world, we live in what we call a spot buy world, an at once. You guys walk through the show, you decide you want something, but it never happens again. Okay, so we live in a very spontaneous world. So the promotional product rep, which can't be very different from other rep profession, you know, where you're selling a service, you got to build some kind of link that anytime that need would come up again, the link is back to you, okay? So I call social media the ultimate Rolodex. So I ask when I do this around the country, I ask people, do you know where your customers are right now? You probably don't. If you're a salesperson, you definitely don't. You think you do, but you don't, because they're moving around. So for those of you who have to work through procurement people or buyers or people where there's a channel, they're moving around. And if your service can move with them, great. But if you're not establishing that link of communication with them to move with them, you have to start over and start over and start over. We live in a very inefficient business model in the world today. Our relationships start over and over and over. And we wonder why we can't acquire wealth. Wealthy people figured something out, and then it just kept making money. They figured the stream out. Most of us, normal people, we can't get that stream going because we go over and over. So one thing you do, and it's growing and forming to be a major important essence of today's and tomorrow's society, is that the relationship value of the transaction is now becoming much more important again, because we can thank companies like Enron and AIG that completely ruined America's trust for corporate America. So if you're selling in corporate America, there's now an immediate mistrust. It didn't used to be like that. My grandfather didn't go through that. Okay? My children are going to go through an immediate, when they meet someone, there's automatic distrust. I don't know why, because we've had, most of us have no retirement plans now because of some of this stuff. So we don't really trust corporate America. That being said, you've got to build this connection. So we started with the Rolodex, right? And that was really cool. But I figured out young in life why they went from stapling it to the plastic sleeve. It was so you could push it out the other side, because people's business cards were changing at Mach speed. And then we got all savvy and we went to Outlook. Woo, that's great, right? We're all cool. But they're too lazy to sit there and do the data entry. So you try to bribe your kids and your significant other to sit there at night and do the data entry, and it never worked because they did all the dyslexic typos on the number. So you went to call the number and it was the wrong number. All wasted time, okay? When you connect with your clients, your customers, your people that affect your business on the social platform, nothing can break the connection. Nothing. Unless they block you, because they're done with you partying and them not. Okay? They get jealous and they block you. Okay? Other than that, there's no reason. Now that link is set up forever. If you travel with a salesperson of today, a modern salesperson, and you ask them to call the customer, they don't tend to go to Outlook anymore. You know why? Because they rely on the Outlook that their corporation's given them, and the database sucks. Because no company is very good at CRMs anymore. We're terrible at it because we will not pay people to do data entry. Which means if this isn't any good, suddenly your ability to get a hold of that person is very low. Which means your income is starting to be affected. When you connect with people on these platforms, you can easily tweet, I'm in your town. Hey, I have a question. I need to get a hold of you. You can use the direct messaging platforms in these. LinkedIn, people go in and they put all their stuff. They put their email. They put their phone number. They put everything you need. You no longer even need these platforms. Those of you that old school, you say, well, I do because I do notes. Okay, well, there's all kinds of cool apps now for keeping chronological notes and attaching them to people's profiles. You no longer need to keep the notes in here. That link will never be broken. What does somebody do on their LinkedIn page when they change their job? What do? This can be interactive, you know. Oh, really? So they get a new job and the first thing they go is to LinkedIn and they change the information? Wow, you mean so that if I was connected to them, then I would have their most up-to-date information? Wow, what a novel idea. Does this auto-update? And it never will. And the worst part about this is that if you rely on customers for an income, you think your relationship is probably better than they think it is. Because you have that in your personality. Oh yeah, that's my customer. I'm close with them. How many of you in the last 3 months have gotten a phone call from a customer and said, hey, heads up, here's my new email, here's my new cell phone, I'm bailing the hell out of here. I want you to know where I'm going. Anyone got that phone call? Oh, but your relationships are so great with your clients, because they would do that. That affects your income. That is a problem. That affects your membership. That affects your clientele. It affects the people that you provide something for. Okay? So this is a really cool platform. Even if you don't want to be the person running around taking video, you don't want to take a picture, you don't want to check in, don't. You will once you get there, because you'll find out how easy it is. If anything, now you have the connection so that the moment you need to get a hold of them, you can. It's as simple as that. Now what's weird, and what I've experienced, is that that used to have to be done on a PC. You might not, before all of you leave this beautiful earth we live on, the PC might not even exist. So now we have the most up-to-date information on this. This is a game changer. If you're in the business environment, this is a game changer. It's a game changer for me. I am the chief marketing officer, but I stay in the field. I'm still a salesman at heart. My thing, the piece of concrete they stick in front of you when you're going to nothing, will say born a salesman, died a salesman. Because I'm on a mission to prove that it's a great profession. I book appointments on Twitter. I book breakfasts on Facebook. I've negotiated tens of thousands of dollars on Facebook direct messaging. So you can't tell me it won't work. It will work. Okay, and it does work because it gives the most up-to-date information, and I'm getting a hold of my clients instantly. Okay, so here's an example of what I think the importance of some of these platforms are. This was an email that went out, and I just did a screenshot, and this is a client of mine who emailed the screenshot to me and basically was poking a little fun at me and said, "I hope I'm as famous as you someday." He got a message. I changed professions in the last 6 months, okay? He got an email from LinkedIn telling him who started something new. Now, most of you guys put together major advertising campaigns to announce your changing of the guard, so to speak, or your newfound profession, and you spend tons of money. Isn't that kind of nice? LinkedIn did, I don't know how many, thousands and thousands of emails. How nice of them to tell the world that I changed professions so people could get a hold of me. And I think it's ironic, well, all these people change professions that I'm connected to, but what draws me, because I still have an analytical mind, I'm an economist by trade, that's what I'm schooled in. So statistically, I'm trying to figure out, why did it look the way it looked? And I hate to scare you, but I think that your connectability or your connections could ultimately affect your social standing in the future. I think there's a direct mathematical correlation about the size of those photos and the placement of those photos. Because there's things called algorithms that those of you who are in this world understand. Algorithms are mathematical equivalences or values put on things like a photo, a video, a like, a comment. All those have a mathematical value, and that's why what you see on Facebook is what you see. This person right here is heavily connected in the LinkedIn world. There's no doubt, okay, and I got the little thing with the arrow too. There's no doubt that because of my connectability, my size of my network, LinkedIn wanted to perpetuate me and help me in that, okay? So that's an example of how powerful, if you don't post anything to the platform, something can be so that your branding continues to go down as you walk the life of your profession, okay? The second theory I have, that's a hot seat right there. No, you're good, you're good. The second theory I have, the first is it's the ultimate Rolodex. The second is that I think there's this perception that people suddenly go live in a closet. Like you become a Facebook guru and all of a sudden you live in a cube and you have weird dark lights and you stalk people. It couldn't be anything but farther from the truth. So this is an example that I absolutely think that you don't replace the physical socializing. Again, I think that I have a 24-year-old daughter, 14 and 11, and psychologically I'm watching them adapt to what we deem as a relationship. We all want to joke that our kids have no social skills. I actually think they have a hell of a lot more social skills than you think they do, because they communicate with each other more than we ever communicated. They just do it different, and you won't accept that. You cannot accept it because they don't talk in full sentences. You think that's stupid. Well, guess what? You're stupid to them because you're wasting time. What the hell you need a period for? What do you got capitalized for? It makes no sense. You're wasting my time. They're laughing at you and you think that they're stupid. I don't know who's stupid here. Neither one. Because they communicate with each other more than I ever communicated with my friends in school. So their communication skills are exploding. They're just exploding in an environment that you're not comfortable with. So be careful criticizing them for that. The physical socializing part of it cannot be replaced. The social media platform is a huge opportunity for you to document your life and share that with the world and use that to get the snowball bigger and bigger and bigger. People tend to gravitate towards fun, positive energy. People want to do business with people they like, right? You've ever heard that cliche? Here's an opportunity to show the world that you're likable. You capture those moments, and that's what you post. You don't post all the doom and gloom. Trust me, I understand. Once in a while you do, though, because you got to show you're human. So if you see those photographs, they're things that are happening. They're funny things that are happening. I mean, I was at an event, and these two customers trapped me and gave me the kisses there. It caught me off guard, but someone got it on camera. You know, drinking beer with some of the executives that I work with. You know, having fun, and you want that. If you're going to use the platform for business, which is a big part of the kind of the foundation of talking here today, is making that transition from it personal and crossing over into business, is that you want to have that perception that what you capture to be very likable, very fun, and full of energy and positive energy. That's what people want to be around. There's enough doom and gloom in the world. My third theory is that it's absolutely critical that you balance your posts. And I don't know if you've ever actually thought about this before, but it's absolutely critical. Take a look. If you're on Twitter, you're on any of these platforms, go back and look at your last 10 posts. And are they balanced? If they're not, we have a problem. Because your person who's following you actually can subconsciously remember the last 10 posts. And if they're weighted wrong, you're doing yourself no service. Here's the example. If the last 10 posts are about posts, you're a workaholic. That is shunned upon. When I grew up, I was raised, work, boy. You want something in life, you work for it. You don't stop at 5. You want to overachieve in sales, you work till 7. Pounded, like nurses, like Catholic school rulers on your knuckles. You got pounded by your sales managers. Put in more time. It couldn't be the more opposite today. The society and the customers that want to buy from you today, the younger buyer, the younger business person, if you are a workaholic, get away from me. They are all, the new world coming and merging into the business world is all about balance. Okay? Now the opposite of that. If all your posts are about vacations, can you see the misconception that your customer might have? You're making too much money on me. Every time I see your Facebook post, you're on vacation. So too much play can come off as you're living a high life at my expense. Too much workaholic's not accepted anymore like it used to be. So you have to have balance. So I tried to do a quick snapshot of what would my post look like on a balance, and psychologically, knowing that I use the platform for business, I'm thinking about this. So I'm putting things in there maybe on purpose to break them up. But you see, I'm standing in front of the booth, okay? I won an award. I'm sitting in front of my kids in front of a barbecue place. I liked the outdoors, so I got my fish there, my big walleye. Did a vacation with the family on the beach. Ladies, you ever tell my wife she's in my PowerPoint bikini, I will kill you. All right, so you gotta balance it, and you gotta force the balance, okay? It's critical that you force the balance. So, a lot of people say, well, I just don't even know what to post. So I took one slide and I made the extreme. What would be interesting posts? Because no matter what you do, you're sick of it, but your customers aren't, right? You see it every day, and you don't realize that the people you do business with enjoy seeing it from different angles. So I took some recent posts that had product involved with it, and this is how we're starting to sell our company to our clients. It's not a catalog anymore. It's not a studio shot with perfect lighting like this. Look at the shot. I got the sunglasses on. I'm at a concert. I'm at a golf outing. I got the golf bag. I'm camping and I got my coffee cup. I'm on a cruise and I got my backpack on. So even though you're mad at me, you got the cruise, you're like, I gotta give the little dude credit, man. He's got the freaking product he's carrying around on a cruise ship. You can't get mad at that guy. I got the dog drinking out of the thing here. I got the kids with the Halloween bag. And I've got, another one. So again, whatever it is you do, and it might not be product, it might be a service. How can you capture this? Can you capture it on video? Can you capture it in testimonials? I think no matter what you do, you probably can capture it in a photograph. I think photographs will stand the test of time. When the world ends, the photograph will be the thing we go back to. When all the dust moves away and somebody comes back and starts picking something up, which will be tablets, the first thing they'll do is look at the photos. None of the apps won't matter. Your emails will not really give a crap about. They will be amortized about the photo. The photo will last the time forever. So here's a quick interesting story about pushing the creativity. So I'm in a situation where now I'm the social media guy. Now I got all this extra pressure about what I post and how often I post and blah, blah, blah. So I'm conscious of what I'm posting in my world, and I'm sitting in a hotel, which is pretty common. I travel about 43 weeks a year. So hotels are an interesting part of my lifestyle. I've never had bed bugs, just FYI, just saying. But anyway, so people are fascinated by the travel. If you don't travel, you just cannot come to terms with what I do for a living. It makes no sense to you. So I'm getting ready for one of these. And usually I have it live, but see, the block walls don't help our reception. But so usually I have it live, and I'm monkeying around, and we're tweeting, and pictures are popping up, and things like that. But I'm sitting there, and I'm preparing for a big social media presentation, and I look at my posts. Now I'm going to pound these guys that I want balanced posts, and I look at mine, and it's not balanced. Well, I look around the room. I hope my kids aren't around to make them do something stupid to get a picture, to throw it in there and throw it out of cattywampus so it's not all work. And I'm sitting there and I'm looking out the window of the hotel. And suddenly I had a thought. I had a thought that one of the most interesting conversations I have with every customer I meet is my travel schedule. And so I had this thought to let you into my world and see what I see. So every day, I have a view from my hotel room, and some are much better than others. Yeah, the other 2 days ago in Austin, I had a tree. I've had brick buildings. I've had beautiful beaches. I've had air conditioning units. People have suddenly found this to be very interesting, and there are other people in the industry blogging about me, tagging me in their blogs, poking some fun at the hotel view. Now, I don't know if you're in any kind of branding business, but that's when you reach the pinnacle of branding. When people are blogging about what you do in their blogs, you're doing something right. So the hotel view was an accident that changed the way the world perceives me. And it's been fun. So that's an example. So you have to figure out what that is for you and then go on it. All right, we ready for the 10 tips? Yes. Okay, all right, thank you. Wow, I mean, it's not that scary of a room. All right, 10 tips. This is like the David Letterman thing, right? And I'll give him full credit for that. So we've decided that it's the ultimate Rolodex. We've decided that relationship matters, and you have the opportunity to document, which will act like a magnet and suck other great customers to you. We've also decided that the Rolodex, the physical, what was the last one? Remember? I had a brain freeze. Anyway, all right, so we have those 3 theories. Now you're going to move forward. Okay, this makes sense. When you move forward and decide that the social media platform is for you, and you're going to start mixing your business and pleasure, and you're going to open that world up, because the gain of that is going to be revenue. I can guarantee it. I got all the numbers to prove it. This is what I need you to be aware of. Number 1, Complete your profile. How many people have attempted to connect with you on Facebook and you couldn't figure out who the hell they are? I hate that. You never make it. You know the little subscribe box that's there on Facebook? I have like more over 100 in mine because I can't figure out who you are. Because you didn't fill out your profile completely, and you didn't tell me where you worked, where you live. You didn't give me anything to try to connect the dots. Oh, that's right. You want me to connect with you and be your friend, and I have to do some work? No. Don't make your friends work to be your friend. Fill out your profile. LinkedIn, it's a no-brainer. Twitter, you can be a little more creative. Facebook's a must. You've got to fill out your profile. If your social media is not working for you, the number one thing, when I do consulting one-to-one, we go back and start looking at profiles, and they suck. But social media doesn't work. Really? How about they can't figure out what you do, or what your company is, or where you live, what you're all about? Nothing. You've got to fill out the profile. The second one is the profile picture. This is a pet peeve of mine when you decide that you're going to use social media as an advertising, again, and not in a sleazy way. You're just opening up that platform. Here's the example. I don't know your dog. I don't care that you drive a sports car, and I've never met your kids. But that's what you introduce yourself to me. You come up to me and you have a profile on Facebook and you shove it in my face of your kids and you're like, connect with me. Let's do business. And I've never met your kids. And I'm like, okay, so the profile's not filled out. Can't figure out what customer you're with. You didn't put your town in, so I can't even try to figure out what town you live in. You're paranoid as get up, so you, God forbid if you put your cell phone number on there. And you got your picture of your dog or your kids. And you wonder why Facebook doesn't work for you. This, whether you like it or not, is magical. Look at that face. How can you not love that face right there? But if you can connect with me, mentally I can remember that. So if you don't use the profile to your fullest advantage, you're killing yourself because that's what somebody's going to remember. And those of you people, you crack me up, you got a Facebook page and you're like 9 miles back in the picture. Well, I'm 44, got the readers and the contacts, I'm moving back. You're not helping me out here being 45 feet away from the camera. All right? Get up here, smile, let that mug roll, and it's right here, it's right here. That's your profile picture. That's what's going to cause traction, and that'll cause conversion. And in the business, you need conversion because you need people accepting those friendship connections because they remember you. Then they start seeing that you're actually a human being. You're kind of nice. While you have a family, while you like to fish, while you like to bike, while you like to camp, you have so many interests. How can I not do business with this person? We're so much in common. If you don't start right, you're going to be the one sitting out there going, nah, this is never going to work. Facebook don't work. Social media doesn't work. You got to have the conversion, okay? Manage your real estate. Now, this is important because do you got the notorious friends who like to post on your wall? Yeah, you get freaked out, right? You get the little buzz and you get the little bit, your so-and-so just posted on your timeline. I mean, you stop, no matter what you're doing, you stop and figure out what they just posted because you know the history with that person. So panic sets in, okay? So with that, what you don't want to, you want to manage that. If they did post something that you're not comfortable with, just go back and get rid of it. You have total power of your timeline. You can remove the tag and you can delete that post. So when somebody lands on your page, they're kind of what my kids call creeping. They're researching, in the business world we call it researching. They're checking you out. You want to make sure they see what you want them to see. So, because really the mohawk haircut and the beer bong probably is not going to move your business needle unless you're in that beer bong business. So you got to get those off there as quick as possible, okay? So that's manage your real estate. The next one is match your voice. I think it's critical that you act on the social platforms the same way you are as a person. If you go to a public setting, like a Chamber of Commerce event, and you're not outgoing, and you might say hi to 3 people, I highly recommend you don't get on Facebook and start chatty-cattying it up. Because everyone's like, whoa, freaky! I met that dude. said like 2 words, now he's like posting like every 5 minutes. You can't do that. Have you ever read a post, and this is what will prove this theory. Have you ever read a post and said that person didn't write it? Have you ever done that? Anybody ever done that? You done that? Is that the freakiest thing in the world? How do you know? You're reading characters and is that freaky? That's freaky because there's no way you should know that. That tells me that there's more going on up here than we give ourselves credit for. You've got to be the person. This is why I highly encourage you not hiring people to write your social media. Because your audience sees right through it. And then there's no authenticity. Now, if you provide that content and they're just pushing it out and delivering it, that's fine. But no way if they are writing it in their text terms. It will not work. Try the plugins. With the relationship part of business exploding again, it's critical that you're finding a common interest in a customer. Okay? Kirby and I's common interest is the mud runs. We both have this newfound love for running these mud runs. So we have a lot of dialogue, which has us talking more often, which ironically enough, Kirby's business and I is up. Okay, it's not rocket science. You're looking for that commonality. So when you find all these little apps and they can plug in, I would encourage you to use them. The people who don't run, like I use Map My Run. People who don't run, they just ignore it. They just read, they're not gonna go, oh, what an idiot, posting his run again, I hate that guy. They just look past it, okay? The older generation thinks that people read everything because you were taught in school if you didn't read the whole book, you were gonna be stupid, right? And then Cliff Notes came out and your older teachers freaked out. But now we live in a Cliff Note world. We have smaller bites but get the same exact knowledge when people a long time ago had to read stuff cover to cover. We don't have to do that anymore. So these apps give people a little insight into what you do. You'll find that commonality. This is how this has affected me. I use Map My Run and I use Map My Ride and Map My Hike and all that. I no longer can travel to any city and post that I'm going to city and not have a significant 6-figure customer contact me and says, you are not coming to my town and doing a run without doing a run with me. So I don't know what you guys do all day. You go to offices and sit in cubicles and I don't know. You know what I do every day? I fly in, I get off the plane, someone picks me up, mountain bike on the rack, we head to the hill, we do a mountain bike, we get a coffee, have a sandwich, and then I go make a couple sales calls. I love every day I wake up because my customers now know what I do and they are helping me live it. They're taking me hiking, they're going on runs, we're going biking, we're going fishing. That's when you love your job. And sometimes they even pay for some of that, but it's even better. So, all right, try messaging, large files. How many people have tried to send a real important email to a customer and you call them up and they go, I never got it? They never got it because somebody in IT decided that you weren't allowed to send a file that big. And that's so nice of them, right? So there's an internal police force called IT in corporate America today. Guess what? There's no police force at Facebook. If you want to send a 13 meg PowerPoint and Facebook message, you can. If you want to send 90 photographs that are 90 meg, you can. And nobody can stop it. So in my world, there's a lot of art. There's a lot of video file and a lot of art files, and they're big. There's a lot of us, what we're doing, we're interacting now with our clients through the social platforms because we can get the file to them without somebody in corporate America policing it on these servers. So try the messaging, it works great. 101, birthdays and specials events. I don't know, if you're in sales and you're not wishing your customers a happy birthday every day, I don't know what to tell you. Find a new profession or something. I mean, you have to wish your clients, your future client, anybody that affects your revenue, you got to do the little things. It's still there. So the birthday, what's nice, do you have to do the research on birthdays with Facebook or does it tell you? Oh, wow, what an interesting concept. It's telling you every morning who you can wish happy birthday to and look nice and look like a hero, okay? The last thing, the number 8, use tags and links. Using tags in all the platforms, I said the @ symbol, you tag somebody's photograph. When you do that, that whatever you posted moves over to their environment. So when I go out and teach sales reps how to use Facebook, I tell them to tag their customers because it's on their customers page, and most of my clients' customers are buyers. Well, they're friends on Facebook with the other buyers that work at that company. So people say, I want to sell deeper, not wider, meaning you want to do more business with existing clientele rather than going out and finding new business, start tagging them on Facebook, because then all the people they work with start seeing that you guys already have a relationship, and that will help you significantly. We already talked about the balancing the content. Number 10, whenever you connect with somebody, send a message. Okay, it changed with Facebook. It used to be part of the connection process. Now it's not there anymore. So you send the friend request, and then you go over in the direct message and you say, hey, I just sent you a friend request. We met last week at the commerce function. You had said it was okay to connect. Looking forward to it. Give me something help me remember why I should connect with you. So always send a personal message. When I teach my reps in the field, they do a sales call. There's 10 people in the room, in the boardroom for a sales call. You gather the business cards, you walk out. On the way to the next appointment, if it's by plane or whatever, you sit with those 10 cards, you get on LinkedIn, and you say, I was just in your office. We just met. You seemed excited about my company. I want to make sure we're connected. Give them the remembrance, because if you wait and you don't send it, you just send the connection, and then it sits in their inbox for a while, 3 or 4 months from now, they're like, whose dog is that? Bring the dog thing back. Okay. All right. So connections, you always send a personal message. Bonus, try the events. If you've ever set up a Facebook event, it's one of the most powerful ways to share information about an event. And if you're in the fundraising business and you're not using Facebook events, you are missing the boat, because it causes a huge synergy of people coming in, posting, I was there, it was great, and then their friends see it. You put pictures there and video there and all kinds of stuff. 2 quick theories, and then I'm going to wrap it up. I want to show you how important what I said was. This was a study done with a camera that senses your eye movement. The camera senses your eye movement. Where was the hottest spot your eye went when you opened up a Facebook page? The profile picture. So either you can think I'm crazy or you can watch science. The first thing somebody's eye goes to is that. The second thing is the very first post. Remember my theory, manage your real estate? I'm serious. Make sure that that first thing they see is something you might want them to see. The second spot, the third spot, I'm sorry, right there. Oh, their profile information, where they work or where they live. To my theory, how important it is. So the hottest spots someone's eye goes to is the picture, the first post, and then where you work or where you live. They're trying to draw the connections, the web of how they know you. And that will cause traction, okay? The other theory I want to show you real quick, and we're done, is this slide right here. Everyone in the promotional products, the industry I'm in and I speak mostly in, there is people who definitely really gave me a hard time that I was the Facebook believer. Because there was this assumption that Facebook was personal. Well, first of all, when I signed up for Facebook, I went out to the mailbox every day. I walked out to the mailbox and I waited for that giant Facebook manual to come, and it never came. So all your assumptions are your own problem, not mine. There's no manual to generally what's right or wrong on Facebook. What happened is mainstream media ruined you. Mainstream media told you that it was personal, and that was what was blogging. Because the fear of the success of Facebook and social platforms will put newspapers and the news out of business. So that's why they don't like it. So there's no Facebook manual, and there's no law that Facebook is only personal. So my grandfather, I'm an Italian generation 3 in the art of sales. As I grew up, there was a simple rule in the house if you want to be successful. It was be where your customers are. Heard that cliche before? Very simple. Be where your customers are. Now let's look at that real quick. We're going to go to social media. And my job, and my grandfather, my Italian grandfather told me to be successful, I had to be where my customers are. Where are my customers? Anyone want to answer? Facebook. Oh, that's right. You want me to play on LinkedIn all the time. And we have this whopping 6% of time being spent in social platforms. And you want me to try to change my income with these platforms. And you want me to stay over here? Nah. I'm going to go right where they're at. So the reason that I am fully a believer in the power of Facebook is because I was taught young that you have to be successful, you have to be where your customers are. And that's where my customers are. Okay? That's it.